Disney CEO Bob Iger officially confirmed that we're getting Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and what honestly surprised me most, the sequel of Zootopia. I thought this moment would never come, really. According to the executive, Disney is winning more into brands, which ultimately means that they don't want to risk with their animated movies and want something safe. Something that will definitely be financially profitable. And they obviously chose their most successful movies from recent years. I really loved the first movie, but I completely missed its political message because I essentially was a kid when the first movie had been released. But after rewatching it and getting the message, I have come to appreciate Zootopia even more than I used to. I really wanted a sequel before, but now I'm not really sure whether it's a good idea. The first one contained a great message about racism and political fear-mongering. It was relevant back in 2016, it is relevant now in 2023, and probably will stay relevant in the future. This fact alone makes perspective of a sequel quite ambiguous. Zootopia 2 must also be politically relevant and topical. My biggest fear and my biggest doubt is that the sequel is gonna turn into some pretty harmless fun adventure that will surely entertain most people and most likely bring the company another $1 billion, while totally losing what made the original movie so special. It would be a huge step back in comparison to the first movie. And I know that fears are real because I've seen Frozen 2. First Frozen was a really personal movie with a limited amount of locations. The second one went exploring the world of the cartoon. While it was interesting, it just didn't have a heart. I'm afraid Zootopia 2 might be the same. More locations, more exploration of the world. Maybe they'll go outside Zootopia, maybe the threat will be global, I don't know, but will not have much cultural value. However, as a person who loves Zootopia, I am mildly happy and even cautiously optimistic to a certain degree about the announced sequel, but I do think it's completely unnecessary. But Disney wants money, so Zootopia 2 is happening. Maybe it'll be luckier than Frozen. Disney doesn't know how to stop, at all. Seriously though, Toy Story was a good trilogy. I especially liked the second movie. The third one had a pretty much perfect ending. The story was over and they grew up just like many people who were kids when they saw the original movie, back in 1995. That's almost 30 years ago. But Disney wasn't willing to let such a beloved and financially profitable franchise peacefully sleep. So we got Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 won an Oscar in 2020, and it was a huge travesty because we got an amazing Klaus the same year. But Toy Story wasn't bad. It was Disney's second chance to finish this franchise. But apparently, in this turbulent time, making another Toy Story is a good option to adjust financial balance. So here we are. I'm pretty much indifferent towards this franchise at this point, so I wouldn't expect much. Look, I enjoyed the first movie. Elsa is one of my favorite Disney characters. She inspired me so much when I was younger. The first movie is a story of personal growth, of breaking out of the shell of doubts and fears, of finding peace with your true self. Elsa went from hiding who she really was to embracing it and making other people embrace her as well. Magic and stuff was just a mandatory canvas to tell a really personal story. Frozen 2 has none of it. Sure, it looks amazing, it is bigger, more epic though, but it doesn't feel the same way. Elsa embracing her power, but she did it already in the first movie, and her people accepted her. Ultimately, the sequel happened mostly because the original was so successful. And Frozen 2 brought even more money. Even after 6 years, people still had great interest in this franchise. The third movie was inevitable at this point. Maybe pandemic delayed it, but I always expected that Disney would try to milk this cow as hard as possible. And why stop if it is profitable indeed? One of the reasons why Disney is winning into brands more heavily is the fact that their recent original projects weren't really successful. If we don't take Pixar into account, the only success was Encanto. Raya disappointed and Strange World was a complete disaster. So now Disney is playing the safer card, which is sad, of course. Instead of Toy Story 5 or Frozen 3, we could get original movies, maybe even with experimental animation similar to Puss in Boots 2, but Disney doesn't want to risk. After all, they are a business corporation. But at least we are getting Wish this year. I would take it over any sequel any day.